Hello everyone, you are on the AutoAdviser channel. Today we will talk about the operation of the automotive battery at low temperatures. When developing a battery and then its production, the fact that it most likely will be operated at low temperatures is taken into account. And as you may know, two important things are indicated on the label of each battery. The first is the capacity in ampere hours, and the second is the cold cranking amperes. So, according to European standards, the cold cranking amperes is the amount of current a battery can provide at minus 18 degrees Celsius for 30 seconds while maintaining a voltage of at least 7.2 volts. I was lucky to work as a battery test engineer, and I personally tested the CCA of the batteries, so I know what I'm talking about. As the temperature inside the battery decreases, the chemical reactions slow down. So all cold cranking amperes tests are done at sub-zero temperatures to get the true, real data that the battery is supposed to produce in real-life operation. There is such a law that when the temperature drops below zero, for every 10 degrees Celsius, it reduces the reaction rate by as much as 2 times. At low temperatures, and in general when the temperature drops, the characteristics of the battery drop, its capacity drops, and its cranking amperes drop. So if your battery didn't start the car well in the summer, then in the winter it definitely won't be able to do it because at sub-zero temperatures the battery performance is decreasing. For those who don't know, there is an electrolyte inside the battery. So the electrolyte has a different density depending on the degree of charge of this battery. With a fully charged battery, the density of the electrolyte at 20 degrees Celsius is 1.28 grams per cubic centimeter. For those who didn't quite understand, here are some interesting figures. A fully charged battery freezes at a temperature of minus 70 degrees Celsius, and a half-charged battery freezes already at minus 25. That happens because when the battery is discharged, the electrolyte turns into ordinary water, and at low temperatures, the water will turn into ice, and the ice will break your battery. And as it follows from this, you should monitor the degree of battery charge. This can be done in several ways. If you have a modern car, then a sign will usually be displayed on the dashboard that you have a low battery charge. And if your car is missing such a function, you can simply lift the hood and measure the voltage of the battery terminals. Well, for this you need a special device, a multimeter for example. So the voltage, or the EMF at the battery terminals, should be at least 12.6 volts. And maybe you remember, in Soviet times, drivers would take the battery from the car home to a warm place. And this kind of solved the problem. Since the battery was in a warm place, it did not burst, its characteristics were preserved, and everything was fine. But for modern cars, this is not the best option, because when you remove the battery, the central lock, the alarm system will not work, and besides, this would reset the onboard computer. Therefore, if you regularly drive a car for short distances in winter, be careful and monitor the degree of charge of your battery. But if you drive long distances, then the risk of discharge is certainly reduced. By the way, an interesting fact is that at low temperatures, not only the characteristics of the battery itself fall, but it also does not charge well. So in order for the battery to accept the charge well, it must be warmed up. So let's summarize. At low temperatures, the performance of the battery drops, and if moreover it is discharged, it will simply freeze and burst. I hope this information will be useful, especially when cold weather comes. So keep an eye on your battery. And if you want me to make a video on how to choose the right battery, be sure to write that in the comments. My name is Cyril, this is the AutoAdviser channel. All the best to you and see you soon.